Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something different. I'm answering your questions while I attempt to get ready. So it's a multitasking situation. Welcome. All right, so for a beach makeup, first, what you have to start off with is a really good sunscreen. This is my favorite. This is the Elta MD. I wear it every day. So you don't need that much. You need like, I don't know if that's a pea size amount or what, but about that much. What I love about this is it smells good. It's also good for acne prone skin. Like, I'm 32 years old, gonna be 33, and I still get freaking acne, so gotta work on that. But I love this, and it smells nice. To me, it does not smell like sunscreen, and it also goes on super, super easy. I'm not one who normally wears a lot of makeup at the beach, but I know some people do like that coverage. They do feel more comfortable with it. So I'm gonna show you how to get a little bit of coverage with some concealer, and also my favorite concealer, and then also answer some questions. So now that that is on, you can also like bring it down to your neck, but for just now, that's all I'm gonna be doing. All right, so we'll jump into the first question. First question is, what happened while you were in London and got the scar on your brow? So I'm gonna move in. This is the scar. I got 9 stitches on top. No, 9 stitches underneath, 7 on top. So it was 2 layers of scars. I was at a friend's wedding. The night before, we were at the rehearsal dinner. Backtrack. 4 days before that, I broke my toe hitting it on a box in my living room or in my kitchen. I had food delivery, and I kicked it. And so I had a thing on my foot, and I was walking upstairs and caught my toe. Now, granted, I had been drinking. That was when I was going through my divorce. It was not public yet. I was handling a lot of stuff on my own and in the wrong way, and I was drinking way too much. So after I did that, and that was a huge wake-up call, I did not drink for almost 2 months. Next step. All right, so this is a mineral primer. This is by Hourglass. I love this. It has a little bit of SPF in it, but it's white, as you can see, zinc. But what I love about this is it's mattifying. So since I just put that sunscreen on, I'm putting this over top, and I'm hitting the areas where I'm gonna put a little bit of concealer. So it's just gonna make my skin look smoother. This is also gonna keep the concealer on for the entire day. Now, if you use too much of either one of these, it's gonna roll up like this, as you can see. So make sure you're letting both things dry and you're not using too much. I had way too much on my hands. This Tula Under Eye Brightening. I like this because it has a cooling effect. It does brighten it just a little bit, but I like that a lot. All right, next question. Did you know right away that you and Jason wouldn't work out since he didn't seem like he wanted to move to where you were from and you live now? No, that was absolutely not a factor for a very long time. Jason and I got married young. I was 26, he was 28, relatively young for most people, and we didn't know the things that we wanted 5 years later were not necessarily the things that we wanted then. Also, you guys have to remember, so much happened. Not only did we experience loss together, he lost his mother, he gained a family, like there was just so much that happened. And then also you throw a TV show in there, it was utter chaos. And we were growing up, we were learning things. Being thrown into a marriage, even though we agreed to it, is no easy task. And I think a lot of people, you saw one side of everything, and I never expect to share everything about our marriage because, number one, that's not fair, and I don't agree with doing that. But nothing is ever one person's fault. It is a joint effort to make something work, just like it's a joint effort when you decide, hey, this isn't working, we need to move on in different directions because we've changed. And that's what happened. And the change wasn't a bad thing. The change was a good thing. I feel like I'm thriving. I see him. I think he's thriving. He's happy. I'm happy. And I think that everything worked out how it was supposed to. This is the concealer I'm using and I'm loving. This is the IT Cosmetics Under Eye, or Bye Bye Under Eye. The color is light tan. This is probably a little bit light for me because, as you can see, I've had some sun. But what I do with this, a little bit goes a long way. So I squeeze some out on my hand, and then I warm it up a little bit because, as you can see, it's real thick. Warm it up a little bit, and I dot it where I want it. And I like to stick to the inside of the face. When I worked for Estee Lauder, they called this the flower. So you start in the middle and you work your way out. And this makes sure that you don't get too much places, and you don't need a full cake face, or me personally, I don't. Some people like super full coverage. I personally don't. All right, and then this is a brush. This is from Morphe. It's the M536. This is what it looks like. I used it yesterday and didn't wash it, so it's a little dirty, but this is how I buff it out. You can go over your eyes. I have dark eye, or like you can see my veins and stuff, so that's why I like to do it. You can also use a beauty blender. I have one right here that is not wet. A lot of people like to use these damp, which is totally fine. I prefer to use them when they're dry because I don't use that much product. And I find that these will soak up product when they're wet. That's what they're designed to do. So then you have a dewy finish and not too much product places. I hit my nose just a little bit, a light dusting. And then I have melasma right here, and it kind of looks like a puzzle piece. I feel like I should probably do a color correcting video for you guys later on. I just don't have all of those supplies since I am traveling. So see, that's really all the coverage that I want. I have a pimple right there, or a scar, but that's really all the coverage that I want. I feel like that's all I need. Maybe it's even a little bit much for the beach, but works for me. When did you know it was the end of your marriage? What makes you decide to step away? And what does your fiance think about your YouTube IG? Okay, so one of my favorite things to my fiance. So Sherm knew nothing about the show before we met, which I love. He is very supportive. He supports me with this YouTube. He supports me with the Instagram. I think to a certain extent he likes to be involved, but we also are going to make it a healthy separation. He'll be here for some videos with me, and just like you see him sometimes on my Instagram, he'll still be around. In terms of what was the final thing that made us decide to step away, there wasn't a final straw. There wasn't a final thing. It came to a head of, what are you going to do next? Are you going to continue to go in this pattern? Are you going to continue in this marriage when you both know that you're unhappy and things have changed? And it wasn't fair to either one of us. I was the one to step away, to make the first step, and I stand by it because it was the hardest decision I ever had to make, but it was absolutely necessary because we both needed it. We were both wasting our life because it wasn't what was meant for us. We were both meant for more. And like, looking at both of us now, I know all of you guys can tell that. I know that you can see we were great together. However, it was for a season. It was supposed to end. And now, looking at my life, I can't imagine my life any other way. I can't imagine still being in New York. I can't imagine not knowing Sherm. I can't imagine not having him in my life. And I can't speak for Jason, but I want to say I hope he feels that same way too, if he can't imagine his life any other way than it is right now. All right, let's switch gears back to makeup. All right, so here is a little bit of bronzer. So I love this Hoola Benefit. I've been using this for a long time. It's the mini version because it's easier for me to carry around. And as you can see, she gets used. I have two different brushes with me today. This is a contour brush. This is really easy to use if you're new to contouring because you can stencil it out a little bit better. So I'm gonna take this, and this is a NARS brush. I'm gonna get a little bit of product in here, and I get a lot of questions about contouring and how do you figure out how to contour your face. So something very easy to remember is make the number 3 on your face. So here, here. You want to shade here, you want to shade here to create a cheekbone, and you want to shade here to just make your forehead look a little bit smaller, and it just brings it all tight together. The whole purpose of contouring is to create more shape. So I'm gonna do a little here, following the 3. And this brush you can turn this way. And I like to do it in circles, and it just blends it out. Now sometimes, you know, nobody's perfect. Everybody messes up makeup sometimes. Sometimes I don't get it all blended and I look like a 3-year-old played in dirt on my face. So I feel like pain. I'm gonna go back to this one. This is just a good old Sephora brush. It's actually a blush definition brush, number 74. And I like this one because I just feel like I can get everywhere on my face. I like to do stuff quick too. I don't really like to spend a whole lot of time on my makeup. I also personally feel that my makeup looks exactly the same if I took 10 minutes or if I took an hour. I go a little bit underneath my lip too to make it look a little bit more pouty. And then on the sides of my nose, this brush or actually even something smaller, like this eyeshadow brush is good for contouring your nose. So contouring your nose, you wanna make it, I like to make mine look a little bit slimmer at the top. hit it at the bottom, hit it right there, and then you always want to blend out. So I'm going to take this brush again and just blend it. And a little trick to know too, if, let's say you mess your contour up a little bit, especially on your nose, go back, get a little bit of that product you left behind and dot it on the bridge of your nose, and now you've brought that highlight back and it doesn't look as muddy. I think I made my nose really tan, so we're gonna try that again. Okay, talking about matching foundation or figuring out which color you need for your skin. So you're either a cool tone or you're a warm tone. Everybody in the world, either cool tone or warm tone. So I personally am a warm tone, which means my colors always have a yellow or an olive undertone. And so when I show this one, so you see on the back of here, it has, let me see. See on the back of that, it has a W. This is a warm tone. I think that I probably need to take a step up, especially as I get tanner. I'm just gonna do a little bit on my eyes. I am not doing eyeliner because I don't want to. I think it's unnecessary for today. I like this because this can act as a eyeshadow base and you can build on top of it, but it just gives a little bit of color. And again, I have veiny eyelids, so, and just like skin in general, so it gives just a little bit. I absolutely love mascara. This is my favorite. It's the Milk Makeup, the Kush. I talk about this all the time. My girlfriend MJ, she actually works in PR, and she got me turned on to this in October 2018. I'll never wear anything else. So I talked about earlier too, a wiggle, wiggle, blink, blink. Wiggle it in to your lash line. Wiggle, wiggle, blink, blink. And what this does is it separates your eyelashes and it's gonna help create volume. This specific mascara, it is a fiber one, so it builds on top of each other, which I love, makes them longer. This is another question too about serums. I personally have never used an eyelash serum or a growth serum at all. I am blessed with good eyelashes. They run in my family. You should see my brothers. They're absolutely gorgeous, not fair. But I don't use an eyelash curler because my eyelashes curl on their own. I know, it's ridiculous. Love it. And a lot of people avoid the bottom eyelashes. I like them. Now that brings me to another point on mascara in general. Take your mascara off at night. Take your eye makeup off at night. It is one of the things that is aging us all so easily and so quickly. Also, some of you might be wondering why I didn't do a waterproof mascara. I'm not a huge fan. If you do a waterproof mascara because you're gonna be in the sun, you don't want it to run, make sure you take it off. This is the makeup remover that I use. This is the Bioderma. I love this because it's gentle. I never have to pull on my eyelashes to get my makeup off. It comes off so effortlessly. I'm finishing this up. This is the Benefit Brow in number 3. It's a pretty neutral looking brown color, but this is also a fiber-based gel. It's not a gel, but it's a fiber-based formula. And what this is designed to do is make it look like you have better brows than you do. So I brush this up, I wiggle it in there. It makes them look a little more full, makes them look a little more put together without looking stenciled. I personally do not stencil my eyebrows. I did when I had the scar or when my scar was healing because it ripped my eyebrows out. But now it's just not really something I'm into. I know the trend is big bushy eyebrows and stenciled, but for my face is too small and it's just not a look I like on myself. But I do like this, the Benefit Brow in number 3. And actually I'm gonna do a little color glow with this blush. I love blush, I always have. I wish I did have a little bit of a brighter one right now, but this is a pretty neutral blush. This is a Lancome blush. It's called Shimmer Mocha Havana. That's what it looks like. And this is a little brush from MAC. I got it in a travel case. And I like to put it on the apples of my cheeks, on my nose, a little bit right here. I think that's a little too much blush. And just kind of tie it all together, give myself a little bit more color back. And as you can see, I'm a little shiny. That's okay. You're going to the beach. or you're going summer and you put your hair up, maybe I'll do a cute little braid. But we have time for like one more question. Okay, so when you were on Married at First Sight, did they pay for your honeymoons? What about where you lived? Always curious. How would you pay for 2 apartments in NYC? We did not pay for our honeymoon, and we did not pay for the rent in the apartment. So let me take you guys back. So in the very beginning, our show, we were married for 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks before decision day. So we only needed a place for a month. So it was 1 month's rent, but we were not responsible for that. That was in the contract that they took care of. That is part of the production cost because it was a film set. There were lights, there were people always there. We were not there often unless we were sleeping. And also there were just people in and out all the time. It was not like a normal home setup. In terms of the honeymoon, we had no say in the honeymoon. We were told where we were going. It was also a 2-hour drive. I can't speak for other people, but we weren't responsible for any of that because they had it planned for us. Anything production planned, we were not responsible for. Favorite affordable drugstore skincare. So I skipped this today, but this is the eye cream that I use all the time. I have some more expensive ones, but I just find that I love this best. This is the Neutrogena HydroBoost Gel Cream. They have a moisturizer, and I use that often too. I usually use the Drunk Elephant, but this has a $68 price tag. This is $16. Also, with the moisturizer for this line, the HydroBoost, is $22. You can find it in CVS, you can find it in Walmart. Super affordable, and it works. It has hyaluronic acid in it, and that is great for anti-aging and also plumping up the skin for hydration. Do I want children? Yes, me and Sherman want children. Best case scenario, I would get pregnant with twins almost immediately. You can come in. I'm almost done. I would get pregnant with twins almost immediately. I'm not disclosing when we're getting married, but it's going to be sooner rather than later. And twins, a boy and a girl.